Hey, what's up guys, Eager94 back with another action figure review. Today we are looking at the Hasbro Star Wars The Black Series 40th Anniversary of Empire Strikes Back. This is the Luke Skywalker and Yoda Jedi in Training set. On the front we can see both figures displayed. We still kind of have the old design style, slightly different because it's got the Empire Strikes Back design. But it's definitely not the box that we have been seeing, like the Zebarellios and the new Ezra Bridger. Here's the side. It is a little crushed. Here's the back side. Got an image of Luke and Yoda. And there is a little read-up on the back there in multiple languages. It says, "Commemorate the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back with the Luke Skywalker and Yoda figures. At the urging of Obi-Wan, Yoda agreed to instruct Luke, developing his Jedi abilities." Now, this is available for order at bigbadtoystore.com, so check out the link down in the description to order yourself one. So we finally get a Dagobah version of Yoda and Luke Skywalker. Perfect timing with the 40th anniversary of The Empire Strikes Back. This set retails at $40, making it $20 per figure, even the smaller Yoda. Definitely do think it would have been better priced at maybe $35, but we do get some extra hands, heads, and a bag to hold Yoda in to kind of compensate for Yoda's size. So here's a closer shot at Luke Skywalker, and I think that likeness is there for sure. We got that digital printing tech for the face, and it does look like a young Mark Hamill when he played this role in Empire Strikes Back. So I think they did a good job with the head sculpt there. The hair is nice too. You can see the dark and light brown. Going to the torso of the figure, we can see some dirt applied to the torso and pretty much all over the figure down to the legs. There's the sides, and then there is the back side. Looking at Yoda, I can already tell he is a lot smaller than the original Yoda that we got from Hasbro, and he looks so much better. The head sculpt looks so much better than the first Yoda that we got. The paint job, the shading looks very, very good. Got the hair in the back there. This is, of course, a much older Yoda. This is the oldest Yoda, and this is pretty much right before he passes away. You can see he's got the fabric soft goods clothing. Got the toenails painted there. And there is, of course, he's got that undergarment. That's all plastic, but the brown undershirt and pants, sleeves and everything is all there. I do notice that the fabric, I don't know if it's meant to be like that, but as you can see, we got a lot of loose little threads and strings, and just kind of some of it falls off, some of it doesn't. It doesn't bother me too much, but it kind of gets a little crazy here with it being all over the place. Here's a closer look at the lightsaber hilt that Luke comes with. Of course, we get the blade, and the hilt is painted very nicely, as Hasbro's always done, so I'm happy about that. It does separate, so you can just have the hilt, of course. Now, we may have that loop right there to hang the lightsaber, but he actually doesn't have anything to hang it from on this figure. We get a blaster, which I believe is Han Solo's blaster, and he can hold both weapons just fine. So the right hand's got the trigger finger for the blaster, and then the left hand is just a grabbing hand for the lightsaber right there. And we get alternate hands with him, and we actually get a force posing hand when he's trying to use the force, and that looks pretty cool. You can recreate that scene. And then we also do get the open hand, so he can handstand. So you can also recreate the scene when he's on one hand and Yoda's on his foot. That's going to be a little difficult to pose, but I've seen people do it. It is possible. And then we get the backpack that straps onto Luke, and that's where we'll put our Yoda there so they can go out and do some Jedi training. Yoda gets his little cane here. And then lastly, we get a Yoda where he falls asleep, so you can pose him when he's sleeping. I'm just kidding. This is when he is, of course, using the Force, and I assume this is to recreate the scene when he is using the Force to lift the X-Wing out of the lake or pond or wherever it's at underwater. I think that's really cool, and it looks really dope. So there's just a quick look at that head on the body. Alright, so I give up. I literally spent 20 minutes of my life wasted trying to stand this guy up on one hand. I managed to get him up for maybe 10 seconds, and then he fell over, and then I can't get him up on one hand balanced again. But it's possible. You just gotta have a lot of time on your hands and a lot of patience, because I've ran out of patience right now at this point. Alright, so checking out his articulation, the head is on that ball jointed peg, or the barbell joint that looks up about this much, and he looks down about that much here. He's got the articulation at the neck too, so that moves around. The head is, I mean, it's removable, but it's really on there really hard, so I don't really want to take it off. We can get the head tilting like this, and then the arms, they go forward and back. We actually do get butterfly joints. They're not deep at all, but they are there. So they have been implementing these butterfly joints in all these new Star Wars figures, which is really nice to see. There is no bicep swivel, but we do get the single jointed elbow, which is pretty common with Black Series, but that single joint elbow ends just like a double jointed elbow, so I'm fine with that, and we get the swivel at the elbow. We do get some weird stuff going on there. That's something that the single joint has, so I don't know how most people would feel about that, but again, we don't get the pins there because it's not double jointed. We get the swivel at the wrist with a side hinge on the right hand and a regular hinge on the left hand. We get a diaphragm joint at the torso that swivels, goes back and forward. There is no waist swivel, it's only at the torso. We get the legs going forward and back, in and out about that far. We get a thigh swivel, single jointed knee that bends almost, oh yeah, it's about a 90-degree angle right there. We get the swivel at the knee. No boot cut, but we get the ankle hinge forward and back, and then there's the rocker at the foot. As for Yoda, his head's only on a ball jointed peg that doesn't move. There's no neck joint or anything, so it just stays there. So it's just a ball joint. So he's gonna look up about that far, and looking down, not really. He's just gonna keep on looking straight forward, left and right, like that. The arms go forward and back like this. They go in and out about that far. We get single jointed elbows, and if I roll the sleeve up a little bit, trying to show it, it's hard to get it all up there, but there's the single jointed elbow. It swivels there. Let's take the cane out. We got a wrist swivel at the hand, and that is it. There is no hinge or anything. For the torso, it looks like we do have a diaphragm joint or a swivel there, so it moves forward and back a little bit, swivels. The legs will kick forward. Looking at the leg joints, we can kind of see it right here. Goes forward and back, in and out. We actually do get a thigh swivel slightly there. We get a single jointed knee that bends very nice, and it swivels at the knee. Then we see we got more stringy stuff coming off. We got a hinge at the ankle going forward and back, and then we get a slight rocker at that foot. So I went ahead and cut off those little threads that were sticking out. Not all of it, there's still some, but it looks so much better without that mess. So maybe it's a good idea. I actually used a nail cutter to just snip them off, and it worked out pretty well. Looks a lot better, I think. So first up, I'll bring up the original Yoda that we got from the blue and black box wave. They actually re-released this for the archive wave as well. And I'll throw in Pilot Luke here. This is actually, I think this is the Pilot Luke from the archive wave, or I don't know if this is the original one. I can't remember. But this still looks good. The face still looks like him. Now it's not as good as that head. That looks almost perfect. And then you can clearly see the differences between the Yodas there. Yoda's very much smaller in this Dagobah release. Now I do feel like this Yoda is more true to size or true to scale of the Yoda that we see in the films. I think this one might be just a little bit too big. And the paint apps, my goodness, the paint apps are so much better on the Dagobah version compared to that. Alright, here's a look at our indoor Luke next to our Dagobah Luke. And then we have Baby Yoda, the child from The Mandalorian, next to Yoda. Up next, we have the farm boy Luke on the left, and then we have just a regular Stormtrooper on the right, and that is the newer Stormtrooper. And last but not least, I'll have Yoda inside the backpack on his back, and it looks great. I love that they detailed the straps here. We got the little buckles all painted on the straps and on the harness here on the torso. It looks great, and Yoda fits in there just fine. Alright guys, and that does it for my review of the Dagobah Jedi in Training Luke and Yoda figure sets for the Empire Strikes Back Black Series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. I think this set is nice, and I know they are re-releasing this Luke in the retro vintage card wave, but it doesn't seem like they are releasing the Yoda. I don't think they're going to release the Yoda alone, so he might be exclusive to this set. Overall, the Yoda is definitely the best Yoda we've gotten before, and we have yet to receive an episode 3, 2, or 1 version of Yoda. Any of the prequel versions of Yoda, they have not made it for the Black Series yet. But then again, we are just now getting a Dagobah version of Luke, so in time we will definitely get that Yoda. Alright guys, if you enjoyed the review, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you haven't done so already, and as always, have a great day.